hug each other after this. Thank you. It was during my early life that I learned, in the worst way, the consequences of having dad, mom, abuse, negligence, and culture issues. The list of all the bad things that I endured before my 20s were typical of a Mexico City female growing in the 80s, all while dealing with the aftermath of the oppression and trauma of my family. Add to the mix some sexual and physical abuse, exposure to very bad experiences, and no support to what a future could be possible for me to have. I started my solo journey a few days before celebrating my 18th birthday, and somehow managed to make a life for myself. In my mid-20s, I came to realize that life for sure gives you a vast amount of second chances during our time in the universe. At 27, fell in love, moved to LA. My first house was in Lincoln Heights, in Highland Park. A divorce led me to South Pasadena, and when I least expected, I fell in love again. But this time, I wasn't only with an amazing man from Guadalajara, but also with his incredible 3-year-old daughter. He was right there, and then I found myself restarting a life for the third time. I quit my corporate job, started a small catering business, and moved with them to Altadena. Ow! Small in size, but big at heart. That's how can I only describe this town. Not even a year after moving, my surroundings really grew on me. I started calling it mi barrio, because it reminded me of the small towns of Mexico where everybody knew each other, where the businesses were owned by locals, where your neighbors were your friends, and all in all, you felt part of it, happy and safe. In Altadena, my stepdaughter started school, went to summer camps, made friends, had birthday parties, learned to drive, cook breakfast, had her first dance and faced COVID. In Altadena, I planted flowers and vegetables, made my bed, put on makeup, reorganized my closet, made love to the man of my life, and ran on summer evenings. In Altadena, I got married, had fights, laughed a lot, hosted parties, found a family therapist, and healed. In Altadena, I started and ran my business, found support from clients and from stores, hosted countless of birthdays, weddings, family reunions, wakes, and community events. In Altadena, I felt that sense of belonging that made me believe this was the place to stay, learn, heal, grow, and stay forever. It is now 6:23 p.m. on Tuesday, January 7th. On the eve of the debacle, clueless of what is about to come, you can see my husband sitting in our lime green kitchen, waiting for my stepdaughter to come after an impromptu date with her boyfriend. Dinner is on the table and the lecture is already in our minds. Little we knew that not even 20 minutes after their arrival, we will all see ourselves running outside to look at the flames coming down the hills of Eden Canyon. From the distance, the line of fire was the representation of the flooring mane of the horses dying at the stables near Loma Alta Park. The sirens of fire trucks, ambulances, and police cars sounded like mermaids howling a cry for help. With some scare and yet optimism, we started packing the basics: important papers, a change of clothes, medicine, school supplies, and our 2 cats. For the next 3 hours, we pretended that it wasn't a big deal. And like many other times, the fire will find its way to the north. For the next 3 hours, we finished dinner, washed dishes, took care of some chores, homework, watched TV, and fell asleep. At the end of those 3 hours, my stepdaughter woke us up. We have to leave. The fire is hitting Lake Avenue. Erratically, we rushed and added some more basic in plastic bags, just enough for a couple of days. Yeah, right. While loading the car, I ran to the corner of Mariposa Lake to see with my own eyes the beginning of the end. Realizing the unavoidable situation, I texted my longtime supporter and owner of Café de Leche. You have to hurry up. The fight is getting very close to Altadena Drive. She replies that it's on her way. We jump into the car and left after the boys in the police car. Megaphone demanded us to leave the area immediately. It is now Wednesday, January 8th at 6 a.m. Our landlord and us both spent the night at a friend's house in Silver Lake. We're very ready to go back and find out to have a house still. Coffee and breakfast is on the table, but eating is not an option. We did put our own thoughts in order. My husband and I stayed behind to organize our belongings, prepare for the journey, and to explain to my stepdaughter why she can come with us. We rushed towards our home without knowing what to expect. It is now 7:13 a.m. We're about to take the 2 freeway and my phone rings. It is my landlord and friend. Hurry up, guys. The house is on flames and you need to grab whatever you can before it disappears. The feeling during our drive to Altadena, I can only compare it to what it was like the cork of a fat lot stopped on my esophagus right before my dad used to beat me. A combination of terror, dizziness, confusion, vertigo, and despair. As soon as we hit Lincoln and Woodbury, we knew we were about to enter another dimension. Like in a Boris Vian short story, every single street was covered by an almost solid layer of smoke. The heat of the flame was heating up the windows in the car, and only red and orange was visible in our horizon. Mariposa Street looked like a war zone. You could hear and see the gas coming out of the burning appliances. Explosions sounded like grenades landing on what it used to be kitchens and bathrooms. As soon as we arrived at our cul-de-sac, we barely had enough time to park. Our neighbor garage was on flames and the fire was rapidly extending to the sidewalk, bushes, shrubs, and trees. It was just 4 of us and the panic became overpowering. Seeing across the street the burning remains of what only last night was a 165 apartment complex, I had a moment of weakness. I was scared, but I knew I had to at least try. All of a sudden, I remembered that my small business trailer was parked around the corner. I ran over there, grabbed 2 fire extinguishers, and ripped the canopy tops on walls from its frame. The next couple of hours, we fought the fire around us with all what we had in hand. Our effort was worth it, but the fight was far from over. During the next 3 days, we started to work as a team with other neighbors from our block and spent many hours putting fires out, removing embers and cleaning dry leaves and potential fire starters. In between shifts, one by one, we dared to walk around and witness what just happened to our town. And we weren't the only ones. In one of those walks, I stopped right in front of what Rancho Bar used to be, while trying to digest what I was witnessing. I saw coming from the remain Chris, one of the owners. He was holding a red cup and leaning on what the bar used to be at. I couldn't say anything, so I hugged him. Then I saw his wife, same red cup, and shaking like a little girl. Our home is gone too. It was right there that I learned that sometimes there is absolutely nothing to say but to absorb what is in front of you. Attest it, hug some more, and keep going to say goodbye to what it was part of our daily life and inspiration. The hills of Echo Mountain and Eden Canyon, the thousands of wood groups guarded by peacocks and bobcats near Loma Alta and Charles White Park, the visits to the Bunny Museum and rhythms of the village community events, the silence at El Molino and Mariposa on a Sunday morning, the loud screech of the parrots during a pink, gold, and lavender sunset, the summer-free concerts at Farnsworth Park, the Thursday beer at the Rancho Bar while ordering some grub from Pizza o Venice, the Saturday latte at Café de Leche and lunch at Fox's, the afternoon shopping at True Value Hardware, Steve Pizza and Bike Shop, the shared smile during a morning walk with an early bird fella watching an August sunrise. Today is Saturday, May 3rd. And after 115 days of being evacuated, I still go back at least twice a week to my street just to feel the energy coming out of the wounded asphalt, looking into the crevices for a little bit of hope, or at least a wedding ring, a baby shoe, or a family picture that can bring some comfort to a family that had lost it all. But with so much destruction, despair, anger, frustration, and the most deep sadness, I realized that I had to start from the ashes. And during one of those walks through Mariposa Street, Poppy Fields, Lake, El Molino, Fair Oaks, Altadena Drive, I realized that the skeletons of thousands of homes seem to have only one structure left standing still. Some might see charred chimneys, but others, we see a wounded but not broken spine. One that is keeping this bleeding body of our town somehow alive, screaming with pain, crying with desperation, but breathing with faith and bravery. Thank you, Altadena.